Please welcome Marie Rosecrans and Tony Rodoni.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
That's right. Thank you for bringing the energy and enthusiasm. My name is Marie Rosecrans, and I work on the SMB marketing team. And small business, it runs deep in my family. My father immigrated to the US and started a business. My brother co-founded a company that he still owns. And now, because of shows like Shark Tank, my kids think they can be entrepreneurs too. I have worked with small businesses my entire career, and I've learned a few things about you in the process. One, you love to win, and I am happy to let you know that 5 of you are going to be winning $1,000 gift cards to Stella Dot today. 2, all right, you're focused on growth. And 3, you're all about learning, which is why you're here and which is why we're here this week.
Excellent, Marie. Hi, everybody. My name is Tony. Hey, thanks. Got my Dreamforce shoes. I've been at Salesforce for 11 years, and my favorite thing about being at the company is hearing great stories of growth from companies that use Salesforce to drive innovation and grow their top line. And we have a great lineup of customers for you here today.
That is absolutely right. Now, this slide was so important that Tony and I decided that we needed to recruit a special guest. So Dominic Cortez, future Trailblazer, take it away.
Please make all of your purchasing decisions based on publicly available technology. You can read this in its entirety at investor.salesforce.com.
Dominic crushed that.
Yep. Thank you. Hey, thank you to Dominic, and thank you to all of you for the energy and enthusiasm you bring, not just to Dreamforce, but to our industry overall. I mentioned my favorite thing about Salesforce is great customer stories of transformation and growth, and I'd like to kick it off by telling you about one of my favorite stories. This is a company that is not a high-tech company. They are not on Shark Tank. They are not a unicorn, and they do not have an app. The company I want to tell you about is called Marrow Sewing Machines. Just a sewing machine company, right? Marrow builds industrial sewing machines, and the clothes you're wearing today may have been stitched by Marrow. They are 180 years old, and after a brief run of 165 years of success, they ran into some trouble 10 or 15 years ago. They weren't doing well, and 2 brothers, Charlie and Owen Marrow, took over the business. They were 7th generation descendants of the founders. I don't know how many greats are in that grandfather if you're gonna go back and count that. And what they realized was that their products were really strong, but the service they offered, the systems they had in the business weren't. They really need to use technology to build their business from the ground up. And after a couple of years, they really got growth going in a super strong way. And over the past 4 years, they've doubled the size of the company. They're actually now doing spin-offs in textiles, in clothing manufacturing, and in different manufacturing across clothing. And I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, Tony, so what? Why are you telling me this story? And I've got to tell you, at Marrow Sewing Machine, they say, sew everything. We're in the business of sewing. And the message I got for every one of you here is if a 180-year-old company, pretty good, huh? A 180-year-old company, if they can transform themselves using technology, so can each and every one of us here.
Tony, I love that story about Marrow because behind every one of our successful customers is the story of an inspirational trailblazer. Now, you may not see your picture on this slide or your name, but all of you are trailblazers because you innovate, you advocate, you embrace change, you empower yourselves, and you empower others through learning. And our trailblazers, they're always working. They're committed to success, and they drive our roadmap.
Yes. I'm not sure if you're aware, we have an online feature request database called the Idea Exchange, and you're not only trailblazers, you're part-time product managers because you vote up and down features in the Idea Exchange that we put into our product. We just released a month ago our new release. It has hundreds of new features, many prioritized by everybody here. And my request for everybody is get on the Trailhead and check out the new features in this release. It's named Winter 18. Isn't it funny? It's like we're still 7 weeks away from winter and almost 2 months away from 2018. Marie, I got to congratulate you and the marketing team. You're almost like a car company now, introducing new models a year before they're out.
Tony, the holidays came early this year, and maybe a thank you is in order.
Thank you for all the cool new features. They're pretty sweet. In addition to giving us feedback on products, we also spend a lot of time with you about growth and the potential you see in your business. And if there's one thing we learn from small and medium-sized companies that are entrepreneurial, it is that you're disrupting your industries and that you're expecting growth. Not only do you expect growth, you demand it. It's practically your destiny. And when we speak to you, we often speak about what innovation and strategies you need to create growth. And it really comes down to innovation, doesn't it? It's really a playbook of how can I innovate in my business. I want you to think for a second about Charlie and Owen Marrow. Charlie, the CEO of Marrow Sewing Machine, likes to say, there has not been an innovation in 30 years in sewing machines. The last innovation was the automated lace puller in 1988. But they can think about creating growth by focusing on 3 strategies. First, they focus on gaining customer acquisition. Second, on growing their customer base and having them buy more by retaining customers. And third, building operational excellence in their business. And these 3 themes of customer acquisition, retention, and operational excellence, those are the themes of the customer stories that we'll be sharing with you during the balance of this keynote.
So while your path to growth hasn't changed, everything around you is changing. And what Trailblazers do is that they adapt and they ask questions. Questions like, how do I find more of the right prospects? How do I win more deals? How do I sell smarter? How do I sell faster? How do I keep my customers so happy that they become so loyal that they're brand loyalists? The answer to these questions is not working harder. How many of you out there think that you are working hard enough? That's right, raise those hands. It's all about working smarter, and that's what Trailblazers do. They get scrappy, creative, agile, and then they combine that with the power of Salesforce to find, win, and keep their customers. Growing companies also need to know when they go to bed at night that they are working with a platform that they can trust and that they are never going to outgrow. At the heart of the Salesforce platform is that single view of the customer. That's what allows you to create meaningful, differentiated, really special customer experiences. That's what sets all of you apart from your larger competitors. And the Salesforce platform, it has a ton of innovation packed right in. Let me just touch on a few. Trailhead. How many of you out there have used Trailhead? Next year, I want everybody's hand to be raised. It's a super fun, easy, interactive way to learn. Einstein, artificial intelligence built right into your CRM. Lightning. I had to convert from Classic to Lightning, and now I'm a Lightning lover. I love the modern UI, fewer clicks. It's all about productivity. And we also know and understand that finding, winning, and keeping your customers, those aren't the only business challenges that you're dealing with. And that is why we have the App Exchange, the world's largest business applications marketplace. Now, when I get to meet with you one-on-one or in presentations like this, I typically get asked 2 questions. Marie, how can you help me get more out of my Salesforce investment? How can I derive more value out of how I'm using Salesforce? And 2, you asked me to introduce you to other customers like yourself so that you can get ideas and get inspired. And that is what the next portion of this keynote is all about. So we're gonna start it off with the story of Code.org and how they're using Pardot. They are connecting with their teachers and their parents to change education one line of code at a time. Iman Maguri, come on up.
Thanks, Marie. Hey, everybody. Look, I don't know if you can tell, like, right out of the gate, but underneath this bad boy exterior beats the heart of a true nerd. Look, I can't help it. I got my first computer when I was in the 4th grade, and I fell in love. Next thing I know, I got my degree in software engineering, and for the last 10 years, I've been here at Salesforce as a solution engineer, helping customers go to the cloud. So I've personally seen the impact of computer science. That's why I wholeheartedly endorse Code.org's mission to make this world a nerdier place. Look, I don't know if you've ever heard of Code.org before, but they've got a fantastic mission. They want to bring computer science education into the classroom, alongside traditional courses like algebra and history. And every year they organize this huge campaign called an Hour of Code, where they want to give every student a chance to get hands-on, have some fun learning to program. But I mean, that's easier said than done, right? We're talking millions of students across thousands of events. Today, we're gonna play the role of a marketer at Code.org, and I'm gonna show you how they use Pardot, Salesforce's marketing automation tool, to find the parents and teachers, engage them with their message, and ask them to sign up. Now, using Salesforce, I've customized my home screen to have what I care about most front and center. In this case, I care about my upcoming campaigns and my volunteer coverage. Let's take a look at my upcoming Hour of Code campaign. All right, it looks like we're doing pretty good, but not in the Northwest. Come on, Northwest, we need you guys to lean in and sign up. So what do we need to do? I need to get those parents and teachers to sign up. Well, if I'm gonna ask parents and teachers to sign up, I probably need a sign up form, right? Let me show you how I do that in Pardot. Now, here I've got a form that I've already created, but the specifics of this form don't matter. The specifics of this wizard aren't important. I don't even care if you can read the screen way in the back. All you need to know is that you go through a wizard. You give the form a name. You pick the fields that you care about. You pick a template so your form looks good. You pick the automation rules that happen once someone hits submit, and that's it. You're done. Look, I know I just demoed a wizard, but this is an empowering wizard. It lets you go from having your idea to blazing your trail very quickly without needing a whole team of people to help out. Let's take a look at this form. I mean, it looks pretty good, right? And it'll look good on mobile too. Make it tiny. Look, it looks good on mobile, right? All right, so we've got this form. How are we gonna get people to this form? I mean, sure, you could send a mass email. Anyone could send a mass email, but in this case, we wanna do something specific. In this case, I wanna send a different message to different people based on who they are and how they engage with us. So I'm gonna do that with a engagement program. Now, in this case, I'm targeting parents and teachers in the Northwest. So what are we gonna do in this program? Well, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send them an email, letting them know that we could use their help to sign up. Well, then what? Well, then I'm just gonna check to see, did they sign up? Because if they signed up, I'm gonna send them a thank you email because they're awesome, right? And if they didn't sign up, what do? We just wanna go home, call it a day? No, we could follow up with them again. Now look, we could do different things based on their engagement with Pardot. Did they open an email? Did they click a link? Did they not? We can do different things based on what we know about them. In this case, we're gonna do something different based on what Einstein knows about them. So Salesforce introduced that new feature, Einstein Lead Score. Einstein looks at your leads, tries to figure out how likely they are to convert, and then gives them a score. Here, I'm gonna take all of the prospects more than 70% likely to sign up, and I'm gonna pass them to our reps. I wanna make sure our reps are following up with our best prospects, all right? Well, then what? Well, then I'm gonna create a task for those reps as well. I wanna make sure those reps know who to follow up with. What's really great about this is I just orchestrated customer outreach and working with my reps all in one place. All right, that's it. This thing's ready to go. We hit start, and now we've got thousands of emails that are gonna start shooting out to parents and teachers all across the Northwest. Let's take a look at one of these parents. Mary, she also happens to be a computer science teacher in Portland, Oregon. She gets this email. She's so excited that she got an email, opens it up, sees the message, totally wants to help out, clicks the link. Look how good it looks on mobile, puts in her info, hits submit, and that's it. She signed up. She's now a volunteer. That data has been captured and fed back to Salesforce, and all that data, her engagement, her information, all of that goes back into Salesforce. Because we have all that data in Salesforce, we have reports and dashboards. We have one place to go to see everything we need to see how our campaigns are performing, how are our reps following up, how many people signed up. And in this case, we're checking to make sure we have everything we need to have to spark the mind of the next generation of Trailblazers. And with that, back to you, Marie.
You did a great job. Great job, Iman. And now I would like to welcome to the stage Hadi Partovi Ceo. Now, one thing you don't know about me is that I am a crazy soccer mom on Saturdays. So I want you to make some noise to welcome Hadi. Come on up, Hadi. Noise. Woo, that's right.
Thank you.
Welcome to Dreamforce, Hadi. We are so honored to have you here. You have had such an amazing life. You immigrated here from Iran after surviving the war. You have been associated with some pretty hot tech companies. You are an investor, an advisor, but you decided to do something special and become a trailblazer for computer science education. Why did you do this, and why code.org?
Thank you so much, and it's so wonderful to be here with this audience. Thank you for hosting me. I was an immigrant coming from Iran, and I grew up there during the war, but I really caught a break because when I was 10 years old, my dad taught me coding. So even though our family came here with almost nothing, we didn't have money, but I had the ability to code much, much better than any of my friends. So when friends and family were going through high school, babysitting or working at restaurants or gas stations, I was coding at tech companies as an intern and saving up for college. And now I've managed to live, I think, the American dream. I've had a chance to work at some of the greatest companies and invest in some of the greatest companies. And I wanted to give back because in this day and age, most students in America don't get the same break I got 30 years ago. Most students' dad is not going to teach them how to code because the dads didn't learn it themselves. And especially if you look at the people who need this opportunity the most, America's lower middle class has less access to computer science than America's upper middle class, which is why people feel like the opportunity ladder in this country is backwards.
Right.
So I started code.org to help every student in America have at least a chance, if they want it, to learn computer science, especially for the girls and for the minorities who don't have access.
Well, thank you for doing that. Now, I'm familiar with code.org because my kids have benefited from Hour of Code, but I also know that code.org is much bigger than that. And you use technology to not only run your business. Tell us a little bit about how you do that, and more specifically, how you're using Salesforce.
Sure. What most people don't realize about code.org, our Hour of Code is so well known because roughly 10% of all
Good marketing.
It's been an unbelievable campaign. 1 out of 10 students on the planet have done the Hour of Code in every single country.
Impressive.
So that's what we're best known for. But what most people don't know is we have 400 hours of follow-on courses that are being used in schools as the primary curriculum for computer science. 1 out of 4 American students are actually enrolled on code.org, with over 500,000 teachers now teaching our courses. So we're really the code.org platform is really a tech company driving education through all these schools globally. And our number one customer is these teachers.
Right.
And to tell teachers when there's a new course available or we made a change in Unit 5, this lesson has changed based on feedback, we need to know which teachers are using which courses in what grades in which language in which country. And messaging to them is not an easy thing to do because we don't have a one-size-fits-all customer base.
Right.
They range from kindergarten through 12th grade, not just in the United States and in English, but in every single country of the world in all sorts of languages. So telling our teachers about new product opportunities, trying to get them to engage their students further, encouraging them to get more girls into the classroom, all those types of messages we need to personalize to them. And we use Pardot for doing that, a lot like the demo we saw on screen.
Wonderful. Now, you have had such an incredible life. You inspire so many through your work. There are a lot of leaders, managers, individual contributors in this room that I think could benefit from your inspiration. Share the Hadi Partovi secret sauce. Like, what's uniquely contributed to your success?
I've been lucky to have so many things that have helped me along the way, but one thing with code.org that has been really unique has been this idea that if you dream really, really big, you actually have a better chance of success. Most people think, I'm not sure if I can make it, so let me take an easy step and try to make an incremental step. And that's why there's so many startups in Silicon Valley trying to do a slightly incrementally better way of an existing product. And what we did with code.org, we just said, let's not think incrementally. In 50 years, every school is going to teach computer science. Let's just aim for that. And by aiming big, we got a coalition of people who all want us to succeed. And I think that's not just something that applies to nonprofits, it applies to for-profits as well. If you have a really big vision, dreaming 10 times bigger than your confidence actually helps build other people's support.
That's
and that's
wonderful.
been really key to our success.
Thank you. And I have to say, I think you know that equality is one of our core values here at Salesforce. And one of the forms of equality is education. We have been so inspired by the work that you're doing at co.org that we would like to give you a $10,000 donation.
Wow, thank you.
And for those of you,
Thank you.
here we go. Look at that. Check that out. And for those of you in the audience who have been equally inspired, we would ask that you text SMB to that number and we will send you a link to donate. All right. Thank you so much, Hadi.
Thank you very
We
much.
appreciate your help. Woohoo. Now, how many of you out there like control? Come on. I know there's more control freaks like me out there. As a marketer, Pardot gives me control. It gives me the ability to create campaigns, emails, landing pages, and nurture those leads using Engagement Studio. And then with Einstein lead scoring, I can surface the most important leads to the sales organization, making sure that marketing and sales is working really closely in lockstep with one another. And with B2B marketing analytics, as a marketer, I know exactly the type of impact that my campaigns are having. Now, we have talked about how you can find more prospects using Pardot, and we featured the story of co.org. Now it's about winning those deals, how to sell smarter, sell faster, and for that, we're gonna tell the story of Kabbage, and welcome to the stage, Eric Bensley.
Thanks, Marie. Hi, everyone. I'm going to start off with an easy one. How many of you have ever gotten a loan in your life? It's like pretty much everyone in the room. Now, keep your hand up if you look forward to going through that process again. The exception of maybe some mortgage brokers in the back, I think we can all agree that it's not something that we wake up and get excited about or that we think is particularly easy. But I'm happy to share our customer story today. Kabbage is changing all of that. And they're doing what they call small business lending for the real world. And what does that mean? Well, they're able to hook up your online banking, your checking, your QuickBooks, and instantly authorize up to $150,000 in lending. And because of that, they've been able to fund over 100,000 small businesses with over $3 billion in funding. It's pretty incredible to see what Kabbage has been able to do. Yeah, round of applause for Kabbage. It's pretty cool. An innovative idea. Now, this type of business model it requires intense sales efficiency. In fact, every AE at Kabbage has about 2,000 accounts. Now imagine if you were a sales rep with 2,000 accounts. It'd be pretty tough, right? So what they're using Salesforce for is to drive efficiency in their sales organization. So today we're gonna show you how they do that. They can use Einstein to predict which leads are most likely to close. They can use Lightning to talk about sales productivity, and they can use analytics to stay on top of every deal in their business as they grow. So today I'm gonna play the role of a sales rep at Kabbage, and to start my day, I jump right into the homepage. Now, this is great because I can see everything that's going on with my business, including where I am to quarter, where I'm gonna close, but most importantly, we talked about efficiency, right? That's the theme here. And I can see where my top leads are coming from. And right here, I can see that they're coming from the website. And this makes sense for us because this is where people drop out of the loan process. And so to start out, I wanna jump right into those leads specifically. Now, I can't call these people at once, so that's where Einstein comes in. So Einstein's gonna look at all these leads and the fields associated with all of them and give me a score based on how likely they are to pick up my call. So all I have to do is sort by that lead score now, and Einstein gives me a list of who I should call first. So this is great. Now, I have this list, and I'm not gonna go run off and grab the phone. I'm gonna start calling right from Salesforce because this is where all my data is. And to do that, I'm gonna use Lightning Dialer. Now, let's start calling. We call Luke, and as I do that, what you're gonna see is that this automatically updates my screen and shows me the most relevant information for this lead as I'm calling. Now, this goes right to voicemail. This happens all the time in our business, but thankfully, I don't really have time to leave this voicemail over and over again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop a recorded voicemail right on their voicemail inbox and move on to my next call. As I do that, everything is updated in the CRM, that lead is updated, and I'm ready to call my next prospect. So this is great. So let's call Kyle. So I call Kyle, and great news, they wanna move forward. So I can end this call and convert Kyle now into an account now. So as I do that, it's gonna create a lead or a contact, an opportunity, and an account. But I need to make sure I have the right offer for this customer. Every customer is a little bit different. So I'm gonna jump right into the account. And I can see right here that a quote has already been created. But like I said, every customer is a little bit different. I need to make sure I have the right order for this customer. Now, this used to be a process of working with my sales leadership team, working with finance to make sure I had the right offer, which could take a few days. Obviously, my customer is ready to buy now. But now with Salesforce CPQ, all I have to do is answer a series of questions on guided selling, which include the industry of this customer, the year they were established, and the annual run rate of the business. And just like that, I can hit suggest, and I have a recommended product to offer this customer. I'm gonna select that, and I'm gonna add it to the order. And just like that, I have an approved product for this customer. Now, we went from being on the phone with a customer to a few seconds later, quoting and sending this out to the customer. Now, this is a game changer for any business that requires efficiency in their sales workflow. So I'm gonna save this and send it out, and that's great. The quote's out to the customer, but now I need to make sure my pipeline's up to date. This is something that anybody in sales knows is a challenge at the end of the day. Are all my opportunities up to date? Does everything look good? Because obviously we forecast based on this. Now this list is great, it shows all my opportunities, but it's not really easy to update, right? This is a huge list, where do I start? I need some way to visualize this. I'm gonna use the Kanban View to look at that. And as I do that, it's gonna visualize my sales process and show me exactly where all those deals are in the flow. So now this is much easier to work with. I can do this part, and I can see now the customer we were just talking to, we just sent a quote out, I'm just gonna update that to negotiation stage, and now looking at this all looks right to me. My pipeline's up to date. So this is great. I'm ready to move on to my next action. So let's fast forward about an hour. I'm out to lunch and I get an email from that same customer, Kyle. Great news, they want to move forward. And since I'm in Salesforce inbox here, all my CRM data is just a click away. So all I'm gonna do here is click into the opportunity and open up Salesforce mobile app. And as I do that, I'm gonna see the opportunity open, and I can close this deal out. And just like that, I have a new customer for Kabbage. So this is fantastic. So new deal came in, now let's see how I'm stacking up with my team. To do that, I'm gonna jump right into Einstein Analytics, and I can see based on that new deal, I'm now at the top of the leaderboard and ready to hit the number for the year, and that's great. So that's the power of Sales Cloud for growing businesses. Now back to you, Marie.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Eric. And now to tell us a little bit more about Kabbage and how they're using Sales Cloud, give a warm Dreamforce welcome to Alfredo Jimenez from Kabbage. Now, Alfredo, this is your first Dreamforce. How's it going so far?
It's been going great. It is my first one, and I'm really excited to be here.
That's great, and we are so excited to have you here. How do you use Salesforce to drive speed through your process? Because you're doing something that nobody else is doing, from what I understand. You're getting capital into the hands of small business owners faster than anyone else. Can you give us a sense of how technology is working to help you do that?
Yeah, that's correct. So again, anyone, small business owner out here can tell you, and anyone really, time is a precious commodity, and speed is a huge differentiator for any small business, especially a small business owner that's doing it all on their own. So for Kabbage, speed is a priority for us because it's a priority for our customers. Speed of applications, speed of access to capital, speed of innovation, and really speed of being able to understand their customers' needs and meet them within their journey to help them meet those needs. The way that, for example, a customer can go into a bank today, apply for a line of credit with them, get declined, walk out of the bank, and on their way to their car, apply for a Kabbage and be a qualified customer before they get to their car.
That is awesome.
Yes, and the way that Salesforce is helping with that is you guys allow us to really innovate when it comes to service delivery. So over the last year in our sales organization, we've really rallied around real-time data within our Salesforce environment. The closer we can get to a customer's buying experience, the buying journey, or their service need, the better we can serve our customers.
That's wonderful.
Salesforce really enables that for us.
So you've done something really special. You have this sales team, you have self-service, but you're also doing creating these really unique customer experiences. Can you tell us a little bit about how you balance all three?
Yeah, so Kabbage is 100% automated. I mean, customers can go online today, apply for a line of credit, qualify for that line of credit, and also activate within minutes without ever needing to speak with anyone or interact with a live person. We also have persistent data connections, so we're able to continuously capture that customer's business performance and really understand where they're at. So with that, we try to balance speaking to the customer on their terms when they want to talk. Thus, our sales process has evolved to be 100% customer driven.
Wow.
So the customer determines where they are in the application process and also how quickly they go through that application process.
It's great. I think you guys are crushing it at customer service. You're crushing it clearly at Kabbage. I want to thank you so much, Alfredo, for coming and joining us. And next year, we are going to welcome you back to Dreamforce with a warm Dreamforce welcome. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for bringing your team. So now a lot of you out there use Sales Cloud, correct? Show of hands? That's right. You're always looking to improve the way you're running your sales team so that you can win more deals. And today we showed you 3 innovations. Einstein, it prioritizes your leads and your opportunities so you don't have to. With Lightning, you can customize and sell the way you want from the device of your choosing. And with CPQ guided selling, you can get those quotes out faster with a greater level of accuracy. Now, there is one innovation that we are announcing today that I am super, super excited about, and that is Salesforce Essentials. We are bringing, I need some claps for that. We are bringing the world's #1 CRM to every small business. Salesforce Essentials is designed for new customers to Salesforce. It's for those customers that are just dipping their toe into CRM. Maybe they're using email and spreadsheets to run their business today. And we have some kind of key principles that we've designed Essentials with. It's all about starting instantly. We have embedded Trailhead, that fun, easy, interactive training, right into the product experience with walkthroughs and guided setup so that you can get started quickly. We know that very small businesses are working in email, they're working in calendar, and with Einstein Activity Capture, we get all of that transactional data, all of that activity directly into the CRM. And most importantly, it's built on the Salesforce platform. So you have access to App Exchange apps, and like I mentioned before, you're never going to outgrow it. So I've had this dream my entire life to have that Oprah giveaway moment. I know I'm a little crazy, and no, don't get too excited. You are not getting cars. But I am happy to let you know that based on the Google relationship that we announced yesterday, Essentials customers and all of our existing Salesforce customers are going to be eligible for 3 months of G Suite at no cost. So we've talked about finding prospects, we've talked about winning deals, but now this is where the rubber really, really hits the road. And in my opinion, having worked in customer success, where the hard work really starts. And there is a special company that's here today that is doing some phenomenal work in terms of advancing women and entrepreneurship. And they have created this very amazing relationship with their stylists and their customers using Service Cloud. So welcome to this stage, someone I have admired for many years, Jessica Heron, CEO and founder of Stella Dot.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to be here.
Thank you for coming to Dreamforce.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Now, well, and I should say thank you on behalf of all women and all champions of equality for everything that you have done to advance women. You mentioned your grandmother in the film, but what inspired you to be a trailblazer for women?
My inspiration for Stella Dot really came, I think many entrepreneurs experience this. You're a frustrated user, and I'd been a frustrated female entrepreneur, and not for the reasons you might think. I started an e-commerce business in the late 90s, and it met commercial success, and I started that business with my head. I found a market space where technology could disrupt it. We created a great customer solution. But at the end of the day, I looked at it and said, do I feel soulfully connected to what I do? You work so hard to create a business, and you get up every single morning, often 7 days a week, and give it everything. And I had to ask myself, when I asked myself that question, I came up with a very scary answer of no. And when I thought about the next stage of my life of wanting to become a mother and all the other things I was gonna do, I didn't know how I was gonna reconcile what looked good on paper of being a Silicon Valley entrepreneur with what felt good and I felt right and authentic in my life. And I realized that I wasn't alone. And when other women asked me for advice on how to start a business, I honestly could think of whatever you do, don't do what I'm doing. It only looks good on TV, and it's actually the American nightmare, not the American dream. So I started to ask myself, how could you democratize entrepreneurship and take out some of the risks? Because when a lot of people want to start a business, what they want is control of their life, their financial life, but they don't want the risk that comes with it. And that became the thought of creating a platform for modern entrepreneurship.
Speaking of platforms, you have this whole community of stylists and customers, and you have a lot of transactions going on in between. There's a lot of technology behind that. In fact, I know when I bought my Stella Dot, there was not a single piece of paper that was, used. You're using technology very smartly, very intelligently. Tell us a little bit about when you decided to make the technology investments and how those technology investments have evolved.
From the beginning, the vision for this was to build not the old school direct sales company that you think of as your grandmother's business, but to build a modern multi-channel business where e-commerce, social commerce, and mobile commerce is at the core of what we do. So in our three brands, Stella Dot, Keep Collective, and Ever Skincare, they drive their business very much as a hybrid model, largely from their mobile phones online. Right. So technology has always been at our core, and it's about giving a professional level wage so that she can sell on the go to an extended circle, and it's not just about in-home or personal transactions. It amplifies what she does. So it's always been at our beginning.
That's fantastic. So you have been recognized by Ernst & Young, Inc. 500, and I know a lot of other organizations for your entrepreneurship and what you've accomplished. There are quite a few entrepreneurs in this room, and maybe even people who just need that little swift kick in the derriere, I'll say. What advice do you have for them?
My core advice is the rest of it you can pick up in books and around how to find a market and how to create a customer solution and how to always put the customer first. But I think what a lot of people miss is making sure that it's truly what you are put here on the earth to do and that you're soulfully connected to the mission. Because when you start a business with just your head, you can be successful on paper, but not in life. And when you find that intersection of starting it with head and heart, where you have a real purpose and meaning to your work, that's where you can find happiness, and I think that's actually how you truly define success.
I love that. And I know that we've only had a few minutes with you, but I am happy to let everyone know that we do have copies of Jessica's book, Find Your Extraordinary, at the MOAD. For anybody who would like a copy, I started reading it last night and I'm already riveted. So thank you so much, not only for what you do, but also for sharing this information with all of us.
Well, thank you. The proceeds go to supporting women's scholarship. So thank you for sharing that as well. And I'm so grateful for everything that Salesforce does on that level.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here, Jessica. We appreciate it. Now, you don't need to be a customer service expert to know what a great customer experience looks like. When you have an issue, ideally you want to be able to help yourself. But when you can't do that, you want to be able to get the help that you need in context, whether that's in an app or in a product, on a website. And you certainly want to do it on the channel of your choice, whether that's email, chat, text, or social. And once you reach that agent, you want to make sure that that agent not only has the knowledge, the expertise, but also all of the productivity tools they need to solve your question quickly the first time. All of that is available with Service Cloud. Now, we talked about finding prospects, we talked about winning deals, and we talked about keeping customers happy. But now the work begins. It's all about action. So Tony, come on up.
Hello, Marie. You can take that with you.
That's right.
It's like every meeting at work. I have to give the action items at the end. Hey, we saw some pretty inspirational stories, and it's very common to think, what do I do next? And I want to give folks a few actions to think about while we're here at Dreamforce together the next few days. We have over 100 sessions dedicated specifically to SMBs and products and different industries, but there's also 2 that I really want to highlight. I want to spend a second to remind you that we have hands-on workshops over at Moscone South. So if there's a specific product or something you saw that you want to learn more of, head over to Moscone South. And also we have some of our one-on-one consultations with SMB specialists over at the Marriott Marquis. So if you'd like to schedule one of those, head over to the Marriott Marquis. I'm about to do the drawing. I want everybody to pull out their mobile phones so we can do this drawing. And it's gonna be for 5 $1,000 Stella Dot gift cards. Pretty cool, right? And for the guys in the room, Stella Dot has products for you as well. The cufflinks that I'm wearing right now are from Stella Dot, Jessica. Somebody got their phones out? All right, I want you to take a second, look at your phone. Now put that phone down and reach under your chair, because we didn't actually do that, and see if there's an envelope tied to your chair. And let's recognize if anybody has won. We got one right here, I see one. Just one? Anywhere else? 2, 3, and 4, 5. Right on. Hey, can I ask the winners to please come up at the end? We'll take a quick photo, and for everybody else who's here, I would just like to say, just like we kicked it off, thanks a lot for the energy and enthusiasm you bring. And I'd like to just wrap it up with a round of applause for the 3 companies, the dedicated time and effort that we highlighted today. Thank you each. Have a good Dreamforce, everybody.
You know, Salesforce has changed my life. I wrote a blog post about this a few years ago that I was never expecting to go, I guess, viral, but it did. And the blog post is titled, "The Best Thing I Built on Salesforce, My Career." And it's true.
I was an at-home mom.
I thought I was going to be the world's best pediatric surgeon.
I went to school for business.
I was not in this industry a couple of years ago.
I went to school to be a lawyer. I was a cosmetologist and a hairdresser. If you would have asked me 15 years ago if I would have a career in technology, I would have told you were crazy.
You know, and it's not easy to put yourself out there. I think about what is it that makes you excited and happy and passionate.
What is it that I really love? Why do I like doing this stuff?
Maybe your passion is veterans and your passion might be retail, or if you're in banking, you can really take what you learn in Salesforce and you can apply it to any industry.
That was an eye-opener for me. This is a huge universe. I can actually start to dream about what I want to do.
The power of the Salesforce platform allows you to do so many things. You can do so much with it.
I'm flying with Einstein! Woohoo!
The sky is the limit. The limit is your imagination.
We're going to bring our customer a level of service that is extraordinary.
That's what it's all about. It's all about the customer. I can now talk to case study example after case study example of where, with Salesforce, we've been able to pull this off. That's exciting.
That's where it's been life-changing. I never thought I had the ability to do that, and I think Salesforce has not only given me technical skills, it's given me confidence in myself to know that I can achieve these things.
Being a trailblazer is coming out first and clearing the path for others.
It's being the voice of the customer.
You're giving them something that they're looking for.
You're always making sure that the best technology is at their fingertips.
These tools actually push me to figure out what the best is every day.
All of that is not possible without an incredible tool like Trailhead.
The best thing about Salesforce and the smartest thing they've ever done is the community.
It is phenomenal.
The Trailhead community, it just takes you wherever you need to go.
I somehow found the user group and I went in there and I was actually hoping to pay somebody to help me, and all these people helped me for free. I will never ever forget that feeling, and I remember that experience and I try to recreate that for other people.
It's an amazing example of what an ecosystem can really do when it bands together and focuses on how we can all make each other better.
Where you can not only be proud of the work that you're doing, but the people you're doing it with.
That's the magic of Salesforce.
It's changed my life. It really has, and it's changed my company and the customers that I work with.
When your customers are happy, your company's thriving, and when your company's thriving, you're truly at your best. You're at the top of your game.
This is what I was meant to do my whole life.
Being your best is not only having a great career, but it's enabling others to have a great career. And I think that makes me my best.